The pros of indie publishing. One of the things about indie publishing is that you have full control of everything. You are in control of what you're writing. You're in control of your cover, your title, where it's being sold, how you're selling it, how you're sending it to the readers, how you're marketing it. So if you're a person that really wants to be 100% in the process, this is a path that you might want to look into. When you're traditionally published, they do a lot of those things for you, which alleviates a lot of stress. But sometimes they may recommend things that you're not really that into, but you feel like you have to go with it because they're the ones that are in control of getting your book out there. Another thing to consider are the royalty rates. So when you're indie published, you are cutting out the middleman, whether it's an agent or a publishing house or a hybrid publisher or even a small press. Small presses, they do a lot of the work in the background for you, but they take a percentage of your royalties. So if you are indie published through Amazon in the US, the royalty rate is between either 35% if your book is under $2.99 or over $9.99, it's 70%. So they take a cut for the printing costs for the paper, but then you get 70% of whatever's left over. So you don't have to sell a ton of books in order to make some royalty back. And it all depends on your why and your idea of why you need this money. Is it because you want to go full time? Is it because you want to pay for the kids' sports? When you're getting a higher royalty rate, you don't have to be, in Barnes and Noble. It can be a little less and you're kind of making a higher percentage. And then lastly, there's never a dull moment. Things are always changing. You might do your research and study and learn the ropes for how to get your newsletter set up or how to handle ads. And then a few weeks later, you find out that everything's changed. The algorithms changed. What was working last week is not working this week. And you have to figure out how to pivot. So if you're a learner, like a lifelong learner, you love to learn and you're flexible, then this might be a path for you. It's never boring. There's always something to figure out. So what are the cons? Time, money, and confidence. In order to learn all of these things, it takes a lot of time. You have to do a lot of reading, a lot of listening to podcasts, figuring out who the experts are, where to find them, what is a reputable company, who are the scammers. It takes time to figure out how to manage the entire process. On the other hand, whatever money you spend is money up front. So if you go traditionally published, you probably won't have to pay for an editor. If you're self-published, you do. And whether it's editing or the cost of a cover or the cost to get your book formatted, those are things you have to consider deciding which path you want to go down. Now, there are a spectrum of costs. You can, for example, make your own cover, or you can get a designed cover with an illustrator. There's going to be a big difference in the money, but you have to figure out what aligns with you and where you're comfortable. But again, you're in control of the whole process. So you get to decide where you want to focus, and everyone's path is different. So it's okay. We're all figuring it out together. As for confidence, because there's so much to learn, you just wrote a book, right? You're like, I just wrote a book. I just spent hundreds of hours getting the story done, and I really don't want to screw it up. I want to make sure that when it gets out there for readers, it is ready and it is exactly what they want. And I'm afraid that if I make a mistake, I have ruined my future career and it's the end. So confidence is a huge piece of it. But you have to remember that there are no emergencies in self-publishing. Everything is fixable. And every mistake is a learning opportunity that will build your confidence back up. So don't let that be a deterrent if you're kind of on the fence and you're thinking, I want to give it a shot, but I'm just really scared I'm going to screw it up. So those are kind of like the three pros and the three cons that I've experienced.